Hey everyone, myself Meghna, the co-founder of Teen Chapter.
And myself, Manaswini Manta, the co-founder of Teen Chapter. Teen Chapter is an organization that focuses on featuring teen startups, youth-led organizations, and teen entrepreneurs.
Today we have Sushruth and Tanish on a conversation. They are the co-founders of You the Future. You the Future is an organization that helps youth gain credibility and help them get heard through this platform. Their mission is to empower the youth who will later turn into the adults of the world. Hi Sushruth and hi Tanish. Um, Also,
Hello. Hi.
to point out that Sushruth is the co-founder of You the Future. He's a national chess player and he's also an internationally rated youth personality. Also, is the co-host of You the Future podcast. We have Tanish, who is the co-founder of You the Future, former world record holder for the youngest to climb Mount Stockangri and former Asian record holder for being the youngest to climb Mount Elbrus. Also, he's the co-host of You the Future podcast. Welcome, Tanish and Sushrit. It is so good to have you on this conversation. Would you like to introduce yourself and tell a bit about yourselves?
Okay, thank you so much, Meghna, for that. That was amazing. So, basically, talking about Youth Future, we started a long time ago, because a year and a half ago. And then, as we started to progress into all of this empowerment and stuff, we started to go in towards mental health and events making, right? So, we hosted a lot of people and we shared their stories on live events and podcasts. So this is basically majorly what we do. And well, that's about it.
That's amazing. Sushrit, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, hi. My name is Sushruth and I'm co-founder of Fuel the Future. And this is nothing but transformational for me because we started with a huge setback and each one of us had an individual setback in our lives. And then we eventually continued through it, like from turmoil to product. So this is from of turning your inner turmoil into product. And it's been so much, it's so overwhelming for us to get or do podcasts with young leaders or just find out that there is a whole lot of other people who believe in the same things we do and who just want to revolutionize the way people think and just to make the world. So yeah, it's been a pretty amazing journey and I'm grateful for all that has happened and for everything that we're doing.
Yeah. So, how did you come up with the idea of starting You the Future? What's the main motto behind it or motive?
uh, yeah. So the thing about this was that a year and a half ago, like let's say 2 years, as I mentioned, we each had an individual setback, right? And generally, like it's my belief at least that the lowest point of your life is the point when you are the most creative, right? So I've been that, and eventually I used to write a lot because expression. I wanted to express, and I used to write. And one time when I was figured out that the one platform which is used by all the major people is Twitter. So what I did was I just wrote a tweet. I just wrote something that was on my mind, and I posted and eventually, I saw that at the same time, this guy had also did the same thing, like a similar thing. And so we were friends because we used to play football together. And eventually, we just hit each other. So, do you want to continue writing? And so, like, let's write and let's get other people into this. We started writing. We both started writing individually, and then a lot of other people started writing too. And that created a movement, that created a ripple. So, and around us, like people around us started writing, and so there were like in around a month, there were around 60 to 70 people writing. So that was a big step for us.
So we decided that let's get all of this under one roof, like all of the people writing around the globe, because it then turned into something else. And a lot of people from around the globe were talking and writing out their very small minor lessons and posting it up randomly. So we decided to make it up a hashtag, which we called Twitter for Teens. And then a lot of people from around the globe kept continuing the hashtag for a pretty long time. So, it kind of became something where maybe 100 or 120 people from all around the globe, like people are also tweeting in Urdu and stuff, which we did not understand, but there was the hashtag of hashtag routines,
Mm.
which made us think that, well, okay, these guys understand
Yeah.
what we are doing here. And hence we got it under all one roof. So we just thought, well, let's make up a page for this. We made up an Instagram page where we used to post all this screenshots of the tweets, and that is how we basically began. And then we just built up a community, right? So out of this community,
Yeah.
we then started to make up events by speakers, because in this community we had a lot of people who were high achievers. So we used these high achievers to,
Mm.
get up speakers and make events, and we did also events. So then it became like a teen wisdom platform by youth for the youth. And well, that's about it. And so we keep doing events once in a while. And well, this is what we do. And majorly, we have a podcast. You can check it out. And recently, we have been going into mental health, and where we did a course with with a few psychologists, and it is up on the website, which is totally free.
That's amazing. And that's also an amazing journey how you guys met and how you started everything. So, what motivates you to
Yeah. Also,
continue the future?
yeah, yeah. We eventually, like as Satish mentioned, we had this amazing journey, and then we continued throughout. And then he mentioned that we used to target high achievers, and then those high achievers, everyone has something to share, and that's why we started. We were nobodies, and we wanted to share, right? So that's encouraged us. Like we just wanted to open up. We just wanted to be heard. Want people know that this is common. We are going through. Just continued writing, and eventually, and as Tanish mentioned, experience. We had over 700 writings. Then we had getting getting blogs. The hashtag went really, really like great. We had like the total was people from 13 countries were writing, and it was just overwhelming for us because the page was growing so fast and everyone was just expressing. And eventually, then the podcast started. Then we started actually talking with the people who were writing. We started mentioning their journeys, how they are growing, what is the purpose of writing, what is their life story. And eventually it just hit me. And then it has been nothing but growth. And yeah, I hope it continues like that.
So what contents and topics do you cover every month?
Okay, so Scoop is our monthly newsletter, which was actually, we halted it for the past 2 months, but we are launching it again in November. So Scoop is some place where a lot of people send us their blogs about maybe consumer psychology, about some amazing story that they've read, about an amazing book, or maybe a personality who have their birthday in that specific month. So then we designed it into a kind of a newsletter, which we call Scoop, because it is like a scoop of knowledge, and you can just take it out as much as you want. So that is what happened, and then we have this newsletter where we cover kind of all the domains, and where people send us articles maybe about tech, maybe about a new business, or maybe about a personality. And well, that's about it. And as people send us, we keep compiling it and make it up into a newsletter and just publish it on the website. We have, I guess, a good amount of readers to that.
That's great. You have mentioned about your podcast before. So, would you like to cover a bit about your podcast and tell us more about it?
Yes. So, this all started when after 6 months after the whole Instagram thing blew up, and eventually we decided to get the first guest in. She was our friend, and she just had a unique perspective about how to do things on social media. Like there's a big conundrum of people who think that this is right on social media or this is right on social media, but actual opinions are just being suppressed on social media is what we believe back then. And we just had this philosophy saying that uh, do what you want and just don't follow that. If you want to be different, you need to be different. Because if you want to create your own identity, it's mandatory that you do something which is different from the rest. Right. So eventually we just talked about social media and how the concepts are there and how everything is messed up. That people just look at the numbers, look at how much of how cool they're or what kind of impact or what kind of image they are showcasing, whereas they are not that in real life. So that was a point which was really because we both had this like insane thing happening in our own personal life, and we were really really down. And so what happened was, we when we were showcasing that on social media, I was getting negative replies, because I was like, why are you like this, why are you all sad all the time, or why are you like all the time? Because I was like, I can't pretend to be happy when I'm sad, right? So I'm just being authentic, I'm just being myself.
Right.
So that was not being accepted, because you have to just pretend, and that was really messed up. So we decided that like we'll do what we want and let others have their own life. So eventually we started to get people in who were of the same philosophy. We created this hashtag for it was a hashtag social media revolution. It was really really impactful, and through that hashtag we started conducting podcasts. First, the guests were all the people who had a similar perspective on social media, that like, just don't care about the numbers, actually make connections. Like, you follow 200 people on Instagram, how many of them do you personally know? How many of them do you actually connect with, or are you just doing it for the numbers? Like, why are you doing what you're doing? So we actually started questioning the basics, the philosophy, and we just wanted to create a change. And eventually it blew up. So the first podcast, if you listen to it right now, it's all about this.
Right.
It's all about how you can create an impact on social media by just being authentic. And so it grew that. Then it was all about like first social media, then it was sports, then it was like just targeting people who had a completely different set of principles, like youth who had a completely different state of mind than the rest of us, who were really, really striving to create an impact. And it just blew up because we started getting so many replies. It's so like, you are a podcaster, fellow podcaster. How impactful it is when someone messages you saying that, your podcast literally changed my perspective. I had never thought about this. This is really good. And these kind of things are like, this is why I do this. Like, I'm not doing it for the numbers. I'm not doing it for anything. I'm just doing it because I want to change one person. I want to just make sure that one person is having a good day. And that's what we strove for. So that was the idea behind the podcast. And I'm very grateful to tell you that, we received a lot of messages. We received a lot of emails, a lot of calls saying that, you are Tanish, you are Sushruth. Oh, fuck, I listened to your podcast. This was so good. I really loved your idea. And yeah, so that was part of podcasting, just getting people together who had a similar but completely different point of view. So that
The community that we talked about, it grew internationally. So then we also started to bring in international guests, like from, maybe UK, from US, from Nigeria, and then that is how the
Nigeria.
community grew more and more, right? So
Yeah, true.
that's about it.
Yeah, and and it's and we're pretty grateful to tell you that we have a community of 100 plus people, and majority of them are completely active and they actually know us. Like, you came to one of our events, you didn't even know us, right?
Yeah, true. I
So
agree.
that's kind of an audience that we have. Yeah, that's kind of an audience we have. That anytime you can message us, anytime you can talk to us, we'll actually be there. We actually focus on making connections and not just focus on the numbers. Like, the numbers game doesn't matter as far as you have connect, right?
Right.
So
Yeah.
that's the whole point.
That's really nice. So tell us a bit about your free course on how to stop overthinking and what's the idea behind this course?
Okay, so
Tanish, please.
yes, of course. So once we started to make things about mental health events, so we met up with this guy whose name is Saran Sati, and he's quite popular in Maharashtra. So $1 million business through scripting and arts when he is a dyslexic. So technically, he had a lot of mental issues and all of that. So that guy was amazing. So he was an inspiration for us. So we did an event with him, and we personally know him. So that is how we came to know that there are a lot of people going through this, but people do not understand it a lot of times. Like it has taken like a flame. So we had a few psychologists in our community. We used and talked to them, and after a few time, I talked to the psychologist. So we talked to the psychologists, and after a point, we decided to collaborate and make a course which will be completely, psychologists, which will be completely about psychologists and mental health oriented by actual legit psychologists who have, a degree and a license to perform mental health practices. So this is
Right.
what we did, and with a course about it is a 60-minute course, and right now because we want to make sure that a lot of people reach it, and because it is our first course, it is completely for free. You just need to sign up and just give your mail address and phone number, and you will have it, and you can just check it out on your website on our
Yes.
website at youthefuture.in/challenges. So that is pretty much everything about it.
Yeah. And yes, and the whole idea behind this is because we came across a lot of people basically on social media saying that I was going through a really tough phase, and listening to you guys helped me and everything, and can you suggest what can we do and everything. So we are not qualified to talk about that, right? So instead we were always promoting people like, you should, if you are not feeling okay, like it's okay not to feel okay. If you're not feeling okay, you should go and talk to a certified personnel. You should go and actually consult someone, because what you should do, right? You shouldn't go to therapy or anything only when you're feeling anxious or anything. It should just be casual. If you want to talk, if you want, like, this is a very big taboo in our country or even in our culture, that now it's being removed. But that, like, whenever you're ill, that's the only time you go to a doctor. Like, if you were checking up constantly, that, like, you wouldn't fall ill. That's the point, right? So it's so the basic point of that was, a lot of people came to us. They were like, can you help us with this? Can you help us with that? And we were always like, no, we can't do that. With your emotional problems, we can't do that, because that's not our place. And secondly, we are not qualified, right? So we were working with this very amazing organization that's called Emotional Helpline. It's a completely free helpline run by psychologists, and they do it completely for free. Like, if you have a problem, you just call them up. They give you an appointment, they listen to your whole problem and give you solutions, like actually certified solutions, because they are psychologists who are running the helpline. So these amazing people, we were in contact with them. And eventually, we used to redirect all these people who came us to them. Like, just mention a name, and like you just mentioned, you send Betanish or Sushant or you the future, and just go to these guys and they'll help you with all your problems, right? Completely for free. Because uh, as you mentioned, that's, you saw it on our website, and why we do this, because we are the generation that's going to prosper into the future of this country, right? So if we don't have our minds right, then we'll eventually be causing a lot of loss, isn't that right? So,
Yeah.
like, a lot of, so these people came to us, and we just talked to these guys. We used to like give them the contacts and give everything. And eventually we were like, we need to do something about this, because uh, the emotional health of students is at stake here. And we ourselves know how it is to be a student, how tough it is to be someone in our age. And currently, like, a lot of people, they take things personally, or they just have a lot of problems. And we need to do something about it, but they can't talk to it about their parents, right? Because currently we are not that developed. We are not that developed. We are not that open, at least right now. So we were like, and people said that, therapy is costly, or, are you mentally ill because you're going to therapy? It's a very big taboo culture. So we were like, we need to firstly make it completely affordable. Second, it should be like any student can do it. It should be that easy. Like, you can do it through one click. And the lockdown was a completely big blessing in disguise, because we were able to work on this so much. And so we decide, like, with these people from Emotional Wellbeing Helpline, we decided, we should make a course of 60 minutes ka course. And then in that, like, because attention span, if you have a course of any student is that free to check out 4 to 5 hours, they'll rather spend that on us, right? Because that's the kind of generation we are. But yeah, so So then eventually we were like, we need to make this compact, we need to make this as user friendly as possible. And you should be able to your home. And since it's for students, it should be completely free, because students don't have money, right? We are all dependent parents till some time. And eventually, so it should all be free and it should be completely for students. So then we worked with this amazing organization, and I'm pretty glad to tell you that this course now has over 100 parts, and it's getting really, really a good response. And I'm very, very grateful that we are able to help a lot of students, just clear out their heads and just talk about and get professional help. So yeah, that was the whole idea, and I'm very grateful to Tanish, because he put a lot of effort into this. So yeah, kudos.
That's amazing. While going through your website and Instagram, I found out about this Connect session. So you had a lot of speakers and everything. It was pretty interactive, right? So would you like to talk about Connect, and how did you come up with the idea about the speakers and everything?
Okay, so we have a very dear friend whose name is Kakames, and he is from the US. And because we used to keep doing events once in 3 months and stuff, so he used to actually host 4 months every month for just youth interaction and stuff, and it was amazing. Like, we used to love it. So after a point, he stopped it because maybe the response was kind of fading away. So we collaborated with him for the Youth the Future community and the Tab community is what we call it, the Taking a Breath community. So we collaborated together to form and maybe host an event which was free for anyone to join, and we got speakers from all around the globe. Like, one was from Canada, one from USA, one from Switzerland, and one another back from, I guess, India. Right. So that was it, and we had a lot of
Yeah.
participants. I am very glad to tell you, and it was actually a one-time thing. But if things go again in a very better manner, we might do Connect again. And well, that's about it. It
Yeah.
just turned out to be an amazing event because people just loved the content
Yeah.
and the quality of the speakers, because the speakers were themselves so good. Like, there was one productivity expert, one was a leadership speaker, the other one was a person from India, one of our friends who actually invests a lot in stock market, and he also teaches stock market to people when he is not more than 22. And he has lost more money than we ever thought we could make at this age.
Okay.
Lost and made, by the way. So, well, that was Connect, and it was amazing.
Yeah.
And if things go planned
Yeah.
as they go planned, then we will have it again.
That's great.
Yeah.
You might
And as
start
it is, it was
Connect
called
2.0.
Connect. So yeah, yeah, it's all about making that connection.
Yeah.
Yeah, do you have any open positions at your team right now?
Oh, open positions. Yeah, anyone can join us, because it's like we always are in to take people, like you can just DM us, and we have a lot of positions open, be it in social media, be it in website handling, and like, just if you want to be a speaker or just be a podcast guest, even then you can DM us, because we'll be more than happy to host anyone and who has a different perspective. And yeah, that's it. So we have a lot of open positions, and even if there aren't any open positions, we are more than happy to help people any way we can.
That's great. Our final question. Would you like to speak a bit about one of your most famous sessions or webinars you have conducted so far?
Okay, so one of the most recent one and amazing one was Connect. It just went amazing because we had especially the part where Atharva Lokhande, which was the guy from India, where he talked. It just went amazing. So, well, that was Connect. It had over 40 plus participants, and it was an amazing live interaction. And it was, well, 40 plus constant participants. I guess the
Yeah.
rotating participants went up to 60 or 65 something. Well, but that was it. That was Connect. And one of the other famous events that we love to talk about was last October, the Mental Health Awareness Month. We got in a lot of speakers. It was a complete, I guess, 8 sessions event from for every weekend, every Saturday one, Sunday one, and well, that is how it went, and it went amazing. It was just so good. People loved it, and I guess Meghana, you came to that
Yeah,
session,
yeah, I
right?
did. Yeah, I did. It was great.
So
It was
that
amazing.
thanks so much. So that was it. That was those are the
Yeah.
two main highlights, and then we have also had a lot of physical sessions pre-COVID, but
Yeah.
they stopped with COVID. But
Mm. Mm.
that's it.
Yeah. Yeah. One of our first sessions we did was it was a in person and it had over around 30 to 35 people, and it was completely free. But the like one thing which me and Tanu believe in mostly is less time more value, because no one has a lot of time to spend. Like, at least we don't want to eat up much of your time. So we say that maximum value, minimum time. That's the thing we believe in. So every time we have a session, it's not more than an hour. It's not more than like, it's never stretching to 2 hours or 2.5 hours, because it's boring, honestly. Like, no one has that much energy, right? So it's all about, so every time we have a format, we always do, like, 1 hour, high value, high intensity, and just get the best out of everyone, be interactive, be supportive, and just have fun. And so one of our most memorable events, as Tanish mentioned, was last October, and it was a 4-week event. As Tanish mentioned, it was the mental health month event, because October is the mental health awareness month. And so it was a mental health awareness month. Last October, we had this amazing event of eight speakers, where we got in psychologists, we got in actors, we got in entrepreneurs, we got in a lot of other people. Meghna, you were there, I guess. And in that event, it was completely uh, a session where it was all about engrossing and getting stories out of people who but you still don't know. Like, it was all about that. Like, every person has a different story to tell, every person has something to share. And I am so grateful to tell you that we got so much value, we got so much insights into people's life. It was just life changing for a lot of, at least for, I don't prefer to uh, talk for anyone else, but it was pretty life changing for me, because your perspective widens once you start networking with people, right? And creating connections, what we love to do and what we always will love to do. And so that was one of our most memorable events. And since, I would love to point out is that since it was COVID, it was in COVID times. So it was completely from home, but still over 40-45 people were there for every event. Yeah, it was that kind of a high value event. So yeah, that's it.
That's great. We've come to the end of the conversation. It was so good to have you both. And to be honest, until now, out of all sessions, I've actually had a lot of fun here. I mean, I've learned a lot from you. You both are such great speakers. So thank you so much for being here. Manu, do you want to add
Thank
something?
you.